So I absolutely believe, and again, simply my hypothesis, he is innocent until proven guilty, that he will be arrested and well indicted on sex trafficking charges. I have no doubt about that, and I do believe that he was most likely the kingpin of this. These girls, what that tells me, if it's out of the Southern District of New York, is this is spanning multiple states, and that he is trafficking or allegedly trafficking girls across multiple states across the United States. This isn't just an isolated incident in one location. And so I have heard things as well about his Hamptons parties and things happening in those Hamptons parties as well. So I suspect more evidence may come out as a result of that. But these are extremely serious charges. And part of me, too, is frustrated by somewhat the complacency, right, of the entertainment industry as a whole in this. And I think sometimes people fly under the radar for a long time, like Epstein did as well, because people are scared. People want to still climb the ranks. And we're doing it all the while sort of sacrificing the safety of these young victims or girls that are involved in this, and that is deeply.
Diddy and his attorneys are working overtime to clear up the mess that's been created after the rap mogul's residence was raided. But according to the feds, they can try all they want, but there's a good chance that he's just gonna get locked up anyway.
But we do have an extradition treaty with them. Right now, though, because of the public nature of this, I have a very hard time believing that a country would allow his plane to land with him on it in their country. They don't have to let him land if they don't want to. And so I think that it would be very difficult for him to be able to land in an inhospitable country simply because they don't want him. We do have extradition treaties with more countries than I think people would think. And typically they will send folks back to us as long as we take the death penalty off of the table. And I don't believe that this is a death penalty case. It's Southern District of New York. And so I believe that whether we have an extradition treaty or not with whatever country he may or may not go to.
Now, there's a good chance that Diddy's going to try to flee the country where there are no extradition laws. Now, in the event that he gets charged, what then? Is he going to be able to just get away with it? Well, it seems kind of unlikely.
Arrest him. Talk to me about the timeline of how this typically works in terms of if we're seeing a raid on several properties. Does that in conjunction with an arrest? Does that come before an arrest? Does that, how does it typically work?
Typically, Jesse, it's in conjunction with an arrest. But I started thinking about this a little bit more last night, and I was thinking that if he has videos and or his associates have videos and they are attempting to distribute those of young male children or female children, that means that a child is in imminent danger. And so part of me wonders if this was done to stop that, and that they will get to the arrest obviously at some point, because as you mentioned, typically these warrants are served and there's usually an indictment that goes hand in hand with that at the same time. So in my opinion, it's not unheard of, it's just a little bit unusual. We don't typically see this. Anytime we did raids at the FBI of this nature, we also had an arrest warrant for the individual as well. And so it is unusual, but I don't want to say it's unheard of. And again, I'm just speculating, but part of me wonders if this was still actively being distributed. And if it is, they need to shut that.
But there's one question that's on everybody's mind. If they had enough evidence to get a search warrant for his house, why didn't they just get the arrest warrant directly? Well, it might have something to do with all the alleged video recordings of minors.
On Friday, Diddy's legal team filed a motion to dismiss some of the claims from a lawsuit filed by Joy Dickerson Neal in November, accusing the music mogul of R-ing her as a then college student in 1991. His legal team is arguing that some of the claims were brought under laws that didn't exist and against companies that were not formed at the time of the alleged incident, according to the documents obtained by U.S. Today. U.S. Today reached out to the Dickerson Neal's lawyer for comment. So Dickerson Neal filed her complaint in November in Manhattan Supreme Court, a day before the New York State Adult Survivors Act expiration date, and alleged that she was essayed and abused by Combs and was the victim of revenge porn. I've changed the word for those that may be misunderstanding, according to the court documents obtained by U.S. Today. Diddy's lawyer, Jonathan Davis, argues that the ASA does not permit Dickerson Neal to revive claims under statutes that did not exist, including her claims of trafficking and revenge porn. The new filing later states that the Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Records, and Combs Enterprises, also listed as defendants in the suit, didn't exist when the incident allegedly occurred, and no allegations of wrongdoing are pled against them, concluding that Dickerson Neal's claims against the companies fail as a matter. Combs has denied Dickerson Neal's allegations, claiming the incident was made up.
Now, until that arrest warrant comes through, Diddy's gonna do his best to make sure that all of this is swept under the rug. Now, at the moment, he's trying to get some of the claims in Joy Dickerson Neal's lawsuit against him dismissed.
While on a school break from the holidays in January of 1991, Dickerson Neal, who was a college student at Syracuse University at the time, reluctantly agreed to have dinner with Combs, the suit said. During their date, Combs had intentionally apparently laced Dickerson Neal's food or drink, resulting in her being in a physical state where she could not independently stand or walk, the suit alleges. Combs allegedly spiked her drink when Dickerson Neal left it unattended to use the restroom, the suit read. In Dickerson Neal's filing last year, she claimed Combs videotaped the 1991 incident and distributed the tape to others in the music industry. This caused severe harm to Dickerson Neal's reputation, career prospects, and emotional well-being, according to her attorney, Jonathan Goldchurch said in a news release sent to U.S. Today at the time. Dickerson has demanded a trial by jury.
But Dickerson's legal team is trying their best to fight back and get Diddy convicted because what he did to her is horrifying and disturbing AF.
Well, Diddy is now facing another very serious lawsuit. And, you know, this all started with the Cassie lawsuit. And then there were two more accusers. This woman has filed as an anonymous accuser, as a Jane Doe, and filed it in federal court today. And it goes back to, her allegation goes back to 2003. And she says she was 17 years old at the time, but tells a very detailed, really harrowing story of meeting first the president of Bad Boy Records in Detroit when she was an 11th grader, but ends up on a private jet with him, goes back to New York, and then meets Diddy. What's different about this lawsuit is that she's included photos. Now, she's blurred her face. She's filing anonymously. But photos of her, she says, in the studio with Diddy back in 2003. And she says, yes, she walked in and there was a recording session going on, but when it ended, that's when the sexual assault began. And it is a really...
Yeah, the allegations are absolutely horrific. She says she was 17. She was only in 11th grade at the time. Said she was taken from Michigan, as you said, to the studio in New York. And after that session was over, she says they plied her with drugs and alcohol. She became so inebriated she couldn't consent to anything that was happening. She went to a bathroom where she says she was raped by not only Diddy, but as you said, the president of Bad Boy Records at the time, Harv Pierre, and a third person. So really, she describes a gang rape scenario where she said she ended up on the bathroom floor in the fetal position and has been so traumatized by this, but never said anything, she said, until she saw Cassie and other women come forward, and she said that gave her the confidence to finally...
Sadly, Joy's lawsuit was just one of many sexual assault lawsuits filed against Diddy. Now, the most recent one is filed by a Jane Doe, who claims that Diddy and his associates drugged and sexually assaulted her.
Puffy couldn't resist and decided to finally speak out about everything that was happening. Enough is enough, the all-cap statement began. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening accusations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear, he continued. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth.
Diddy being Diddy, though, was suspiciously quick to deny her allegations, saying that people was getting a little too comfortable throwing dirt on his name.
Things had gotten so serious that you became pregnant. Not once, but twice, correct?
Yes.
Okay. When was the first time you became pregnant with Diddy's child?
The first time was October 2014.
Okay. So this was like what, a year after?
No, not a year, but because I met him in February and then I got
Okay.
pregnant in October.
Oh, so the same year.
The same year.
Okay.
I told him, and he was like, "You're gonna get an abortion, right?" And then I was like,
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't know yet. And then he offered me 50,000 to get rid of it, but I turned it down because I just loved him, and and I wanted to, I was like trying to prove that I wasn't the girl that
Was
wanted
with
him for money.
Okay.
I just care about him. The first 3.5 years, he was like mean to me.
So when you say mean, describe it.
He was abusive. He was like always belittling me and always like he was like mentally, emotionally, and physically abusing me.
Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the first time we've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
There was an incident, of course, with Cassie, where reporters are saying that the police were called because they got into an altercation. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me some of the things that he would say to you.
He would always compare me to Cassie and tell me that I'm the bad one and she's the good one.
And he was with both of you guys at the same time.
Yeah. A hoe every single day.
A hoe.
Yeah.
Why would he call you? Not that he had a reason, but like in his mind, what do you think prompted him to call you a hoe?
Back now, I think he did it because he wanted me to feel low about myself, like so that I stick around him because like no one would I don't know. I just feel like he'd try to I was naive and young when I met him, so I feel like he tried to take advantage of that and manipulate me.
Obviously, you terminated baby one because you loved him.
Mm-hmm.
How long after you guys started dating is when did the physical abuse start?
The first time it ever happened, which was not even like that long into the relationship, because I met him in February, and then it was probably like the beginning of May, because we were at Meek's Mill's birthday.
Okay.
He had like a mansion party, and we went, but while we were there, I was sitting here, and then Puff, and then Meek, but I was like covered with like a stand or something, like probably says like "Happy Birthday, Meek" or something like that, but it's like a little stand that like was covering me, because there was like a lot of cameras and stuff there. So it was like me, Puff, and Meek. Puff had like leaned forward to like talk to somebody, say hi or whatever. And so I turned over to Meek and I said, "Happy birthday." He put his hand out and then he was like, "Thank you." So I reached his hand and shook it. And as I shook Meek's hand, he turned around and saw it and he got so mad.
Wow.
And then we probably like stayed like 20 minutes after that happened. And then when we got in the car, he like grabbed my hair. We were in the one of those Escalade trucks.
Okay.
So I was sitting on this side, he was on the other side, and he like grabbed my hair and like cussed me out for doing that. He was like, "Why the fuck can I cuss?"
Yeah.
He was like, "Why the fuck you shaking his hand for?" Like just saying stuff like
it was
that. I
just
was
like
like
a jealous rage.
Yeah, I was like, I was just saying happy birthday, nothing else. I think he thought I was trying to be sneaky behind his back, because I like reached over when he like leaned forward to talk to somebody else. So he thought I was trying to be sneaky.
And you were how old at this time?
I was 22, probably.
Now, it ain't too hard to believe that Diddy did all these things, because before Cassie filed her lawsuit and gave others the courage to step forward about their trauma, Gina Hunn revealed the abuse that she'd gone through with Diddy.
Oh, what happens here is that the federal government started a case with him. Apparently the search warrant that had his houses in Miami and LA was pre-planned already. They knew they were going to do that. So they have a much bigger case. Right now with the guns, they're going to check them, they're going to trace them, see if they were used in any crimes. They're going to go over anything about cooperators that are cooperating with them. They're going to be talking to a lot of people about certain criminal acts that he might have committed, and then go from there.
And what about the videos?
Well, they're going to sift through those videos. They're going to look at them and then see if there's any criminality on those videos, and then they'll go from there.
So what do you think? I mean, it just seems like the house of cards might fall for Diddy right now.
It's not looking that great. Right now, I know that he has higher-powered attorneys, and
right.
With all these allegations that are coming out against him and against other people, a lot of people are starting to be very nervous about it.
Now, if the allegations against Diddy's proven, then it's not just him that's going to be going down. I mean, he probably going to be doing a lot of that if he go to prison anyway. Not that he's going to mind. But get this, according to ex-NYPD detective Derek Parker, Diddy's accomplices is going to be in hot water too. So I guess we just going to see how loud Diddy going to be singing to the feds.